we're not going to get that detail with the numbers. I'm going to make it really simple for you. One of the things that we have for you, it's called the Easy Business Plan, and it's part of the big business plan. I want to go over this with you right now. There's 3 sections. So let me just skip the highlights. I'm going to go through these right now. Let's pretend that you get, and Power Agents, you're getting a copy of the video. Let's say your personal income that you need just to pay your bills is 50 grand, and then your business is another 50 grand. You've got to cover your taxes. So we'll just throw 30 grand in there for that. Then there's miscellaneous. The miscellaneous is your next level stuff, because the first 2 numbers is just covering your bills. And I may have picked a high number for some of you, and it's just an example. So let's say 20,000 is the extra money. So if I look at my total money, it's 150 in this example. Now, how are we going to get to that 150? So if you take that 150 and you put it in line A, and let's say your average commission is 10, you don't need to be a math scientist to figure out that you need 15 closed transactions to generate that $150,000. Now, let's say 75% of that 15 comes from listings sold and 25% you taking buyers out. That's how that breaks down, 11 and 4. Now, the thing about buyers, you can't control buyers buying a house, but you can control the listings. So the rest of the business plan is focus on the listing aspect, because if you get more listings, more yard signs, more open house, you get more buyers. So let's say that what percentage of listings end up selling? Let's say in this example, I say that of all the listings you'll get in 2025, 80% of them are going to sell. It's probably going to be higher, but let's go with conservative numbers. How many listings do you need per side? 13.75. Now, some people watch this. Linda's saying, where is this, the slide here? Don't, Linda, just, especially if you're a Power Agent, you're going to get the recording of this, and then you can go over it. The Easy Business Plan is in the 55-page business plan, but it's also a dedicated page in the classroom, Linda. So, but don't worry about that right now. Just follow me, because Power Agents, you're getting the recording, you can sit and watch. So if let's say 80% of your listings sell, and if it says there on line D, do you see a D? It says 11. Well, if I need 11 sales, but only 80% are going to sell, then that means I actually need to get 13.75 listings. How many listings does that come out to? About 1 or 2 a month. So let's continue. You're welcome, Linda. Let's continue. Everybody, don't get distracted with handouts or anything. Just watch me and pay attention, okay? How many listing appointments do you need to get 1 listing? That's a very individual question. So my batting average was, if I went on 10 listing appointments, I would list 7 out of 10. Now, I only did FSBOs and expireds because no one had taught me about referral business when I was, and plus when you're first building your business, you're going to have to start somewhere. So I started with FSBOs and expireds. So I would list 7 out of 10. So you have to decide, what is it for you? How many listing appointments do you need to get 1 listing? Let's just say that for every 5 that you go on, you'll get 1 listing. Some of you it'll be 4, some of you it'll be 10. In this example, I'm putting 5. And if we need 1 listing a month, it says 1 to 2, but I had to round it off. That means I need to get 5 appointments. If I get 5 listing appointments every month, I should get 1 listing out of 5. How many appointments do I need to get a week? Well, that's going to be 1.5, right? Or thereabouts. So it's actually it would be 1.25. I think we rounded it up to 1.5 for a reason. Okay, so let's continue this. How many calls you need to make schedule 1 appointment? Same thing. How many telephone calls do you need to make in order to get 1 listing appointment? Let's say it's 5. You call 5 FSBOs, you'll get 1 appointment. You call 5 expireds, 5 somebody. Well, if I need to get 5 appointments scheduled each week, how many calls do I need to make? That's 25 calls, right? 25 calls will give me my 5 appointments in a month. How many calls in a week? That's 6. And then, of course, that's basically it. So it's we wrote it in such a way that it make really easy. Just answer the questions. So So that's the Reader's Digest version of the one-page business plan to figure out your numbers. Let's talk about some other things that we need to do in the Now business plan. Is the next thing is you've got to improve your listing conversation. You'll notice we call it conversation, not presentation, because when you think presentation or people hear presentation, sounds like a sales pitch. We're not selling people, we're serving people. That's the motto of Power Agents. We don't close, we coach. We don't sell, we serve. So what Power Agents and guests, what we have is the listing appointment is broken up into 4 sections. We use the acronym REAL, R-E-A-L. Number 1, to remember the sections, but more importantly, number 2 is I want every Power Agent to understand that it's a conversation and I want you to be authentic and real. The problem with a lot of training that's out there is that coaches will give you a script that's not you. It was written by somebody else. Chances are it's written by somebody that didn't even know how to do listings because they never actually went on listing appointments, but that's another story. So you've got to be authentic is my point. Listen to me. There's no right. Gang, I'm going to say this right now in case I don't say it later. Jot this down. You should write down your 5 favorite things to do that you love about your job that you do for sellers. What are the 5 best things? What are the 5 things that you're passionate about? The 5 things that you think benefits homeowners the most. And the reason why I want you to do that is because you need to lead with those 5. If you speak with conviction, so there's no right way to do a listing appointment as long as you're speaking with conviction and passion from your heart. So if you lead with your 5 favorite things, good chances are they'll interrupt you before you get to number 5 and say, give me the paperwork. I just want to list with you. So with that said, let's go back to the sections that have the structure. R stands for rapport. They need to like you and trust you. To me, this accounts for 50% of the whole listing appointment. People don't list with companies. People list with people. If they don't like you, they ain't listing with you. My guest, for example, if you've never seen me before, and I invite you to be a Power Agent because I think it's going to help your business, well, if you don't like me, you don't trust me, you're not going to do that. So people first must believe in the person that's talking to them, right? So when you're on a listing appointment, don't worry about how to present price or commission, because you worrying about that is a distraction for you being authentic and you showing up. See, some of you don't show up because you're trying to be something you're not. You're trying to memorize a script. You're trying to do it the right way. Relax. Be committed to serving, and it'll shake out and work out. So first, build rapport with those people. Then you're going to go back to the kitchen table after you've toured the house, and you're going to engage them. How do you engage people in a conversation? Is you ask questions. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should communicate in that proportion. Listen twice the amount of speaking that you do. Then you're going to give them advice because it's in the engaging and the questions you're going to get clear about what they're committed to. And what we do as Power Agents is we coach people based on their commitment to their next level. So once I know what their next level is, I'm going to give them advice on how they can get to their next level. This is where I'm going to open up my listing book. I'm going to talk about MLS, yard sign, my 5 favorite things I'm going to lead with. Now, you're not going to just talk about your 5, but you're going to lead with your 5. And then you're going to, when you feel that they're ready to hire you, you're going to invite them to hire you. You're going to list and leave. And the list and leave is a little bit of a joke for me. List and leave and get the heck out of there before they change their minds. Everybody laugh. Can I see some laughing? All right. So with that said, let's talk. I'm not going to talk about the whole listing appointment right now. That was the overview. I'll show you where the whole complete listing appointment is in a minute. But I do want to talk about that rapport section. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck's the only one that gave me a laughter, Chuck. Thank you. What the heck's wrong? I know some of you are giving me the hearts and the hand clap. I got to look at like April. She gave me a funny. Thank you, April Brunel. Robin, John, thank you. Come on now. This is happening live. Let's together here. Get engaged with me. Otherwise, it's going to be boring. It's a business plan webinar. Root canal is better for some of you. Busy. Lori said she's busy taking notes. Okay. So let's talk about breaking the ice. So when you go to the house, have a something to break the ice, a little gift, whatever. So Power Agents, we have a plethora of stuff for you. Plethora. This is my favorite piece. When they have children, everybody's laughing their ass off. All right, it's now it's too late. I'm on to the next slide. So stop. Let's get back to serious. All right. So there's actually a delay. I understand. Thank you, everybody. So this is one of my favorite pieces because what this is, Power Agents, anytime a homeowner has a child, I want you to use this. I'm going to tell you why, Power Agents, because
I have that. I already shared it with everybody.
I'm going to give you the short version of it. So I'm very passionate about children, and because I had a bad childhood. That's the bottom line. So anything I can do to help children is, my thing. So what I do know for fact is that children moving is traumatic, even at the youngest age. But us adults are not tuned into it because the children have not mastered communication skill yet to express their feelings. But it's scientifically proven that it is traumatic. So even though the child seems fine, we should assume that they're not. So I had this thing written to make moving for children an enjoyable game. And so it's one of my most proud things for children. So I ask Power Agents, please, when you find that there's a child, a homeowner selling, bring this and give it as a gift to them, please. Okay. All right. Let's talk about, I'm not going to teach this. I'm just giving a highlight to it for the Power Agents, especially. So Power Agents who are not using something like this, and by the way, this is a sample. You put whatever percentage you want, but what we're experiencing with Power Agents is they're actually getting more listings at higher commissions because of the settlement. And the reason why is because we created, now I see a lot of other guys out there copying this from us, but we've been teaching this for the past year before anybody was talking about it. And that is a tier plan, actually I started with 3 and I made it a 4th tier, where it explains to the homeowner they get to choose their commission. Now, that 2% plan, I don't have Cassandra. Any Power Agent who knows this, tell the guests, what do you think about this? Cassandra says, I love this. It is a great tool. We don't have time to teach this because we're talking about business planning. And the idea is you need to improve your listing appointment. And this is one of the game-changing things that you need to learn on how to get more listings at higher commissions, because you're going to give the homeowner a choice. And that 2% is based on Australia, because they use that in the lawsuit, saying that in Australia they charge 2%. Yeah, they do, because in Australia the homeowner pays the marketing fees in advance at the listing appointment. So you present that to the homeowner. Hey, if you want to cut me a check for 10 grand, you can get the 2% plan, or you can do the 3% and I'll cover the expense. Anyway, it's a great way. And the real punchline is when you go to the 5%, you say, listen, Mr. Misana, I want this business so much, I'm going to do the 5% plan at 4%. So anyway, listen, let me just say something to the guests. If you decide that being a Power Agent, or at least the trial, is worth the $10 for you, I'm going to email you everything on the screen immediately. And in there is how to do a listing appointment, okay? And it'll go through the whole REAL step by step. Maria Lynn, one of our Power Agents, she said, one of the most important things Darryl taught me was commitment and follow through in what I do. I went from 60 grand to 209 in just 12 months. Darryl really did make a difference in my life. Now I'm going to show you what Maria learned. And I referenced earlier how to be more authentic on a listing appointment. And that is using stories, metaphors, and analogies. The power in using stories, metaphors, and analogies is that well, let me demonstrate one, and then I can explain, then you'll understand the explanation better. So let's say that a homeowner says, bring me a buyer and I'll pay you a commission. You would say to the homeowner, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, let's pretend that your daughter's getting married. And so you are going to get this wedding cake for your daughter, and you want it to be the best possible cake. So what you do is you and your daughter, you go to the 6 bakers, and you say to each baker, listen, we want the best cake that money could buy. Now, we're going to be talking to 5 other bakers. So here's what we want you to do is we want you to actually bake the entire cake that we want. And then we're going to decide whoever bakes the best cake, that's the one we're going to actually pay for and bring to the wedding. Now, my question is this, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, how many of these 6 bakers are going to roll up their sleeves, spend their money, their time, their resources to bake you a cake in that scenario? Ungats. Why? Because you didn't give a commitment to any of these bakers. They're not going to use their money and time without a commitment from you. So it's the same concept here. When you tell real estate agents, bring me a buyer, then I'll pay you. You don't have any one agent rolling up their sleeves, spending their money, their time, representing you to get the highest possible price. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like going to court without an attorney. You see, when you tell agents, bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a fee, that agent is representing the buyer, not you. So what happens now is that this agent is representing the buyer. So you're paying a licensed, trained agent to work against you. That's like you going to court representing yourself, but you're paying the attorney who's suing you, paying their fees. That doesn't make sense. You need representation. All right. Anyway, gang, what do you think of those 2 metaphors? Let me see it in the chat. Do you like those? See, let me tell you the power and why stories, metaphors, and analogies are so good. Because when you hear a metaphor, there's a couple of things. First of all, here's my question. So I need to see it in the chat. Kim said, excellent. Can you guys, who can leave this webinar and go do this? Let me go back. The 6 bakers. Who can go do the 6 bakers? Say I can, or I want to see. We're going to do a vote here. Makes sense. Metaphor is my favorite way. Could not be more perfect. So easy to remember. Lisa said me. Who else? Linda says wonderful. Yeah, here's my point. Once you hear a metaphor, you can go deliver it. You see, you could go do the 6 bakers. You could go do this attorney. And guess what? No script. You see the power it is? You don't have to memorize a script. You use your own words because that's how you're more authentic. And the reason why it's so powerful is because when people hear a story, metaphor, analogy, they can usually relate to it differently and better because they have in their own personal life a similar something that they went through and they can now emotionally connect to it. Listen to me. That's all a movie is. A movie is nothing but one long metaphor. So when you're watching a movie and you're crying because the dog got hit by the car, the dog didn't get hit. It's make-believe. You know that. You're not crying for that dog. You're crying because somewhere in your personal life, you had a loss and you connected with your memory, your feelings. So when you use a metaphor analogy, you're not talking to people's heads, you're talking to their heart. You're moving them emotionally. And that's what a motivational speaker does. They just stand on stage and tell you story after story after story, talking to your heart. And that's what a listing appointment should be. Now, there's 2 metaphors that you can do. You can say there's the handling the objections, and then there's the marketing tools. Okay, so let me give you an example of marketing tools. When I say to a homeowner, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, the reason why FSBOs don't work is this reason. When you're trying to sell your house, imagine the buyer is like a fish, like you're trying to catch the fish to buy a house. So when you're a for sale by owner, when you put an ad or a for sale sign on your front lawn, that's like, imagine a fishing line. So the ad on Zillow is a fishing line that you have. Your yard sign, that's another fishing line, right? Maybe you'll do a public open house. That's another fishing line. So you're sitting on a lake with your fishing lines and trying to catch the fish. This is why I'm different. This is why realtors are different. We don't use fishing lines. I want you to imagine a big fishing trawler going out into the ocean, you see, and throwing out a big net. That's what I do at Power Realty. Now, when I get all these buyers on board, now you can be selective. You can be picky. You can look at which fish is the best fish that you want, you see. And by the way, it doesn't stop there. Because once you catch the fish, what are you going to do? You're going to eat it raw? Of course not. What are you going to do? You got to prep the fish. You got to scale it. You got to cut it open. You got to clean it. Then you got to season it. And then you're going to cook it. And by the way, when you cook it, you can ruin that fish if you over or undercook it. So timing is essential. And then if you know how to time it, you do a good job, you sit down at the dining room table, bada bing. Now, same thing for me. Catching the buyer is only part of what I do. Once I catch the buyer, I got to prep the buyer. I got to make sure they got a good FICO score, that they're going to get a loan, how much the loan is going to be. So I make sure they're prepped properly before you commit to it. Once you commit, it's like committing to that fish. It goes in the oven. We go in the contract, and timing is important. Just like cooking the fish. I got to make sure that buyer's on time, that they get their application in, that they get everything in the loan, because we only have a certain amount of days for them to get the mortgage commitment for us to go to the dining room table, or in your case, the closing table. Listen, Mr. and Mrs. Hunter, if selling a house was as simple as throwing a fishing line out into the lake, you wouldn't have to be licensed by the great state to help other people do it. So there's got to be more to sell in real estate than just throwing a line out in the lake. Does that make sense? Gang, are you learning anything here? Can I see some feedback? Do you like the fishing analogy? Do you like that? And by the way, here's the question. Can you go do the fishing analogy? Now, let me give you a little bonus information here, and that's how do you form. Chuck, Kim, thank you. Lenora, thank you very much. Julian, I see a lot of power agents loving this. What about the guests? I need to see some names I don't recognize. So where are my guests in the house? All right. So with that said, how do you form an analogy? Here it is. When you're sitting across from your buyer or your seller, you want to think about their family makeup. So something in the family dynamics might be a place to find a metaphor. Look at their occupation, what they do for a living. The best metaphors are when you use their job against them. You say, listen, in your job, would you do it this way? Bah, 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 bah. So using their occupation, that's really awesome. R stands for recreation. They got some hobbies that they do, golf, bowling, or whatever. You think of a metaphor analogy. And memories, if they share some kind of memory, perhaps when you're touring the house or something, or you see a picture, whatever. Okay, now, here's what I want you to do for 2025. Power agents, listen to me. You have this in your classroom. We created these two forms for you. So on the left is the marketing tool. MLS, broker's own house, broker opinion sheet, public opinion, yada. What I want you to do, power agents, is come up with an analogy for each one of your marketing tools. Now, by the way, I have these for you, but you may not like some of them. The ones that I have for you, good. You'll fill out the chart here with the ones that I give you. And if you want to come up with your own, bada bing. And I want you to do the same thing with objections. Bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a fee. Our house is special. The other broker do it for less. I can pay to get on MLS, yada, yada. Metaphors and analogies. Now, power agents, let me tell you where I have that for you. There was this CD program. You'll see my other brother, Darryl, right there. Because obviously that's not me.
That was before the settlement.
That was before the settlement. Just so you all know, that's what I looked like a year ago. I was fatter and darker, and now I got gray. I haven't eaten. I don't sleep anymore. Anyway, power agents, this story, some of you may own this CD set. We sold the CD set for $200. Power agents, it's part of your program. You have access to it. In this audio, there is a workbook that shows you, and this is just for objections. The objection, sell it on our own to save the commission. We can do a better job. Bring us a buyer, we'll pay. And it tells you what objection, OHV is objection handling visual. That's what OHV stands for. And it tells you the page number. So there's 3 pages of just, and when you go to that, this is what it looks like. This is all the metaphors and analogies. There's over 50, I lost track how many there is, but there's over 50 metaphors and analogies. And power agents, I'll tell you, when you hear it for the first time, it says 62 pages, but there's some other note pages there. Anyway, this is power agents. You've got to listen to that because it's part of your membership. And it's, yes, Chuck, wow, Chuck, yes. Chuck, wow, wow. All right, I already covered that. Let's go on. Master getting signed buyer agency agreements. So one of the things you got to do this year, I'm going fast, gang, because I'm trying to do a whole business plan in less than an hour or in an hour. So part of the challenge that we have with the NAR lawsuit is the all these forms that came out from association stuff, and I tell power agents, do not use the association forms unless your broker's making you, because they're, for example, this is I want you to see California Association of Realtors, their buyer agency agreement. This is page 1 out of 3 pages. Who the hell is going to read that? Of course, I'm making a joke. That's really not what it is. But initially, it was like 70 pages or something California had. And the members were freaking out. They're like, I can't get a buyer to sign this. Let me show you. Watch this. Let me show you what your buyer agency agreement should look like. One of our power agents, Vicky Yates, she said, second accepted offer today as a power agent. This is from a buyer whose husband refused to sign a buyer agreement. This was our 5th offer, and it finally happened. Thank you, Darryl. I will never work without a buyer agent agreement again. You want to know why? Let me show you why. Bada bing. Here is the power agency agreement that we created for our power agents. It's 1 page, and it's not even a full page. Almost a half of the page is the signatures. As simple, man. You can't go from buyers not signing agreements to like, all right, let me give you this attorney-heavy language, confusing. Because let me tell you something. If you want to know what the next lawsuit is, you start jamming down buyers a buyer agency agreement that they don't understand. Because what will happen is this, I'm waiting for it, is that these buyers, they're going to start suing agents saying, I didn't know what I was signing. They didn't tell me I should get an attorney to review it. There was all these legal things in here I didn't understand. And I was told that I had to sign it because it was a new law. I'm telling you, that's going to be the next surge of lawsuits. So please make sure it's simple, basic language. If you don't understand it, they're not going to understand it. Don't use it. That's my thought on it. But you got to do whatever your broker says to do. You've got to get good at presenting value and your commission. Now, power agents, again, this is business planning. So I'm not teaching this, but power agents, I already taught it. The #1 best agency agreement presentation post NAR lawsuit. I did this training for you on July 24th. And so it's already there from you start to finish. So make sure you listen to it. Joni said it's excellent. All right, get super organized. Let's talk about getting super organized. You know, one of the best places to look for getting super organized is McDonald's. You want to know why? Let me show you something about McDonald's. First of all, what McDonald's has is their training. When you think about McDonald's, McDonald's is run by high school kids. The profit margin is very small for the store because of franchise fees, because of the markup of hamburgers, the whole 9 yards. So the individual franchise store owner, the margins are very tight. So that doesn't sound like a very good business plan. You've a business, right? Yeah, here's something that's tight margins, high failure rate restaurants, and it's run by teenagers. You would say I'm not going to invest in that. Well, the reason why McDonald's is so successful is because they systemize their business. Even if you don't speak English or read English, you could work at McDonald's. Why? Because they have pictures, small, medium, large fries. Press the picture. #1, #2, #3 menu, press a button. So there's even, McDonald's even shows them how to pack a #9, 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a soda. Like there's a picture of how to pack the bag. That's how systemized they are. Let me show you something that they got. They have an app for the employees. This is the app for the employees. So for the employees, if you've got nothing to do and you just want to play a game, you've got to, it's like a Tetris. Am I saying that? No, Julie, help me. What is it? Tetris.
Tetris. Or like Candy Crush, you have to find it real fast, right?
Right. When it's falling down, it's all right. You got to press that button. So that's how the game is. But the employee, they don't realize. Some of them, I'm sure they do. They're actually being trained how to press the friggin' buttons on a keyboard. Tetris. Thank you. I needed to see it in print. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Chuck. So come on. This is systems organized, beautiful. So here's a couple of systems I recommend. RedX is the best product that I know when it comes to getting you leads. Now, power agents, you don't pay for 30 days. We cut the best deal nobody else has. they get you the FSBOs, the expireds, the whole 9 yards. So I want you to look at using RedX in 2025. Also you got to make sure you have a CRM, everybody, guest power agents. Now, what does CRM stand for? I always take it for advantage. The people know what it is. Customer relationship management is one term. Some people call it, Julie, I think, says customers really matter. Or keep reminding me with a little joke there. So make sure, like our Power Builder for our power agents, it has these great tools where there's a user-friendly list. The newsletter is built in, so it's automated to stay in touch with your leads. There's a website that comes with it to capture the leads. Linda says Power Builder is a game changer. Yeah. Automated campaigns, set and forget. When you get a lead coming from social media, they should be getting emails constantly connected. And don't forget your orphans, put those into your CRM. I just want to say for everybody, orphans are people who bought or sold real estate from your company, and the agent who did that deal no longer works in the company. So you ask your broker for any of those closed deals where the agent's not there and say, let me call them and shake the trees. And so we have a dialogue, power agents, for calling the first time you get an orphan to introduce yourself, okay? Now, use proven dialogue. One of the things you got to do for now business is you got to get on the phones because, listen, there's door knocking, there's all these different things you can do, but there's nothing better or faster than picking up the telephone and making calls. So power agents, when you go to prospecting, there's over 40 dialogues on how to call FSBOs, expireds, open houses, follow-up, referrals, over 40. And now, listen, the guest, if you decide that I'm helping you at all and you want to continue to learn from me and become a power agent for the $10 trial, we're going to email you the 12 best dialogues that power agents love and get the most results from. I'll give you, for instance, when you are really good on the telephone, then you can be more creative. You can speak from your heart. I'll give you an example. You should be able to call a FSBO and say, hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Is it still available? Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? The reason I was calling one of your worker brokers to sell your property. So you are trying to do it on your own? I'm just curious. Is that because you want to save the brokerage fee? Let me ask you this. Where you moved to, why there, and when you need to get that by? Let me ask you this. If I had a buyer who's willing to pay your price, pay my commission, can we work together? It is possible. Some cases to do that, but first I need to see the house. Listen, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. After all, you're letting complete strangers into the house. You don't know if they're going to afford the house if we're free. Well, I'm licensed by the state of New York. I'm the safest appointment you could give, not to mention the fact I could have 2 or 3 potential buyers for your house. So let me in, so like letting 2, 3 people at the same time. Can I come over at 6 or would 7 be better? Bada bing. Now, when you know the dialogue that well, then you can start to be creative on the telephone. You can start throwing in your own dialogue. You've got to be strong at the telephone, make your calls, because if you want to have a financial breakthrough in the next 30 days, you've got, and Matt, what would happen in your business if you made calls 2 hours every day? Or let's make it even simpler. What if you talk to 2 people every day? 2 new people every day, 2 new people every day, 2 new people every day, 30 days, 60 conversations. Let me ask you a question. If you talk to 60 people, new people in the next 30 days, do you think you might generate maybe 1 listing? Hello, come on now. That's how you do it. All right. So with that said, you've got to commit to a schedule. You got to lock it in because you'll always be busy. You'll always be busy. Who likes to go to the gym on this call? Who's a gym person? Let me see all those healthy people. Who goes to the gym? Anybody else go to the gym? But write it in the chat. Do you go to anybody? Hello, Heidi, you go to the gym? Anybody else go to the gym? I want to see who. Chuck, you do. We don't like you, Chuck. Nina, Bill, no, we don't like. My idea of working out is I fill up my bathtub, I pull the plug, and I fight the current. To me, that's a workout. But with that said, some of you fanatical workout people, Chuck's saying 3 days a week. So listen, what happens to you if you don't go to the gym? Any of you not? What happens if you skip a gym? If you're one of those people that go 4 days a week, 5 days a week, what happens when you don't go? You feel lethargic, right? This is what I heard. I heard you get tired, you feel off, your energy is low. When my energy is low, I take a nap. So right, you get lazy. Now, you feel slow. I want you to do that think of that with prospecting. I want you to go to the prospecting gym. You see, if I ever missed a day of prospecting, I would feel lethargic and guilty and upset with myself. So I'm going to give you a suggestion. Your clothes don't fit. April, that's good. Naps are good. Here's my suggestion. Here's my tip for you. Two ways to prospect. You either Monday through Wednesday around dinner time, just make your calls until you get an appointment. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, bing. Or do your 2-4 calls a day. If you do 2-4 calls a day, you're going to have a breakthrough. Pick one of those and you'll be golden. All right. So that was Now Business. Let's talk. I'm checking in. I don't need to check in with you guys. You've been very good audience, checking in, very good. Let's talk about future business. The systematic and farming. So for future business, you got to start farming. And the best thing to do is, so people are commenting now about the magazine, great information. They love it. So thanks, gang. Yeah, we're very proud of the magazine. You know, that's just another bonus that we give Power Agents. But so you should establish a niche for yourself, whether it's geographic, price range, condos, co-ops, style of home. So decide ethnic, like if you, like one of my, don't worry about steering. Like one of our Power agents that I used to manage, Sue Wong, she's Korean. She's from Korea. Like, so her culture, she knew a lot of Korean. So she leaned in on her culture, spoke the language, understood. That's what we mean by ethnic. Investors, retirees, first-time buyer. So one of the things you want to do is pick a niche. Once you pick your niche, you want to send out an introduction letter like this. Hey, dear Mr. and Mrs. Hana, my name is Darryl Davis. I specialize blah, blah, blah. Then you want to start doing a mailing campaign. Like we've got 3 golden letters that if you just rotate these 3 letters, you're going to start getting business. They're just listed, just sold. And even if you didn't list or sell it, you still, if it's something that happened in the area, you still send it out. And I'm telling you, if you just do these 3 letters and rotate it every month, and you send this out monthly, your phone's going to start ringing because you know what it's communicating? Geez, this Darryl Davis, all he's doing is listing and selling everything in the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, you could do postcards, you could do recipes, and but geez, Marie, these 3 letters, they brand you as the expert. Now, here's another idea. Is chart out your promotion for 2025. Take on the left, write down your activities that you want to do in 2025 and look at the year and figure out, all right, in January, I'm going to do this one. As long as you're touching people, you see, touching people. Here's the definition of self-promotion: to have people know your name, your face, and what you do for a living. I'll say it again for people who missed it in the cheap seats. Self-promotion definition is to have people know your name, your face, and what you do for a living. So that suggests that everything you put out there should have your name, your face, and of course, the fact that you are a Power Agent of real estate. Now, Power Agents, we have for you, we write the newsletters every month for you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you want to do the newsletters, we write it for you, and we give it to you to send out. Here's another thing. You can offer guides to people in your farm area, like the seller's guide. You can use it as a lead gen. You can use it for door knocking on the website. Now, Power Agents, listen, all this, wait a second, sorry. You can use it as an icebreaker. Power Agents, I do not expect you to do everything that we give you because I know we give you a lot. So you pick and choose what works for you. You like this, the guides that we have are better than any other guide in the industry. Because you can take this guide. We wrote for you a social media ad for Facebook and Instagram. Hey, get your 40-plus page home seller guide. We created a postcard around the guide for you to market and put it out there. So we have everything that you need, Power Agents. You don't have to reinvent the wheel nowhere. Monica Graham, she said, the support is just a click away. When this site was put together, they really thought about how agents think. So finding everything is right at your fingertips. It has taken the stress off me trying to create a piece from scratch. And that they are customized. It's awesome. I will tell you, I'm going to say this to the new Power Agents. If you subscribe to any other place that gives you postcards or flyers, you can save money and cancel those because the Power Program site has over 1,700 pieces because we don't throw anything away. The guides we have, Julie, how many guides do we have for Power Agents? The buyer's guide, the sales guide, the easy move guide. How many guides we got?
Well, the ones that are just consumer facing, I think we probably have At least 10, and then we have
At
guides.
least 10 consumer guides, and then power agents. Then there's other guides just for you. And by the way, those 10 plus guides, there's Spanish versions as well, power agents. So if you go to farming and self-promotion, you will find a lot of those guides I was just talking about. All right, work your sphere. So one of the things that I suggest for future business is you come up with a marketing calendar just for your past clients. Now, this is an example. January. Now, this has an idea for every month. You should not do every month for past clients. That's an overkill. Your past clients, they already know your name, face, and what you do for a living. You just got to keep them up front because they forget. How many times has that happened to us? You sold somebody a house, and then 5 years later, they go to sell it, and they list with somebody else. And you're like, what the hell happened? Or your neighbor, or your friend, or even your family members, they know your real estate. They don't use you. What the heck? It's because at the very moment that they decide that they're going to sell or they're going to buy, unless they have your name at the front of them, they're not going to think of you. So it's a hit or miss. So that's why every quarter you should do something for your past clients. January is a closing statement. We teach that. I'm not going to get into it now. February, updated CMA, tax tips. CAC is Central Air Conditioning Certificate. Mother's Day mailing. Anyway, you get the point. Social media, digital. So also, start thinking about social media in your future business. See, social media is not now business. That's a lot of planting seeds. You need to keep it up and do it on a regular basis. That was future business. Now let's talk about financial freedom. And then I've got a bonus for everybody. So the bonus, so stay for the bonus. Here is the 4 top strategies for, you have to run. You have a listing appointment, Matthew? Go get them, Ben. Listen, Matthew, if you're a power agent, yes, you are, because you're saying join. Matthew, you're going to get a recording of this. We'll email it to you. We'll let you know, not email the recording. We're going to let you know when the recording's up in the portal. All right. Here's the 4 top agent strategies for financial freedom. I hope you guys can stay. This is my favorite part.
I'm staying.
Number 1 is you need to create a steady flow of cash every month from your real estate business. Okay. So that means getting listings, building your business. The second thing, you got to get rid of your debt. I'm happy to say my debt is 0. Now, I do have debt on houses. We have debt in our business. So there's good debt, but I don't have no credit card debts or personal loans. You want to save automatically. So set and forget. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then invest, make money while you're asleep. Let me give you some tips on this. First of all, Credit Karma. Everybody should have Credit Karma. You should tell your buyers to get Credit Karma so they can see what's going on. Now, let me tell you something I learned. If anybody wants to have a surge in their FICO score, because FICO score gets you money. When you have good FICO, banks throw money at you. It's easy to get money. So let me show you how to do this. It takes months or years for your score to recover after one late payment or bankruptcy. However, if you can pay down all your credit card debt to 30% or less of the credit line of each card, your score will go up in less than 30 days. It's something that I learned, and it's magical. So that's tip number, whatever tip I'm on. The next thing is when it comes to investing, like in the stock market, you want to do what's called dollar cost averaging. And here's what that means. You do not time stocks. You don't try buy low, sell high. Don't do that. Dollar cost averaging works this way. Let's say you invested $100 a month every month, no matter what. And let's say, and then you take that $100, you put it into your account, and then you buy a stock. And let's say the stock that you buy in April, it's valued at $10. Then in May, you're going to buy the same stock, but now it's $15 because you only have 100. You're only getting 6.7 shares, right? Before you got 10 for 10, 6.7 and 15. Again, another $100 at $13 a share, 7.7 shares. So dollar cost averaging over a course of 3 months, my average cost for that stock is about $12. That's how you buy stocks. You do not buy when it's low and sell when it's high. You buy the same stock every month with the same dollar amount every month. That's how you become wealthy. Now, which stock do you buy? There's only 3 stocks you should buy, and they're ETFs. I'm making it very simple. Some of you want to do something different, but I'm giving you the secret sauce. I'm going to show you the results in a minute. ETF, DDM represents the Dow industry. So as an overall, whatever the Dow is doing, so does this stock. Same thing with S&P. It's called SPY. Now, NASDAQ, I have three favorites, QQQ, XLK, VGT. You don't get all three. Pick one of them. I like all three. Here is my here's my return this year from January to last week. My return is 84%. So my portfolio has gone up 84%. Now, if you look at the S&P went up 38, the Dow went 39, so that's pretty good. Now, it's because I just own those three, and that's it. Now, let me show you something else, because some would be like, well, this year was a good year for anybody. Yeah, but I'm beating the average of everything. So that's the 84. So what I did for the cynics on the call, I said, what was my average over 5 years? So I looked at my 10-year return. I went all the way 10-year. I'm basically averaging over 10 years 9% return. Now, that's really good, because you take that 9% return at 10%, you start growing it. So, gang, my advice is ETFs. Thank you, Julie. Set and forget. One other thing, think about other investments. So, for example, buying real estate is key. If you buy, and Power Agents, I'm going to be launching. So you all know I invest in real estate. I recorded some ideas for you. I'm going to share that with you. Even buying art. This is a new artist, that Andrew Scott, that I love. Julie, I have a funny story. Andrew Scott, this is hanging up in the bathroom, and my handyman was at the house. He almost tried to fix the frame because he thought the frame was broken. And so he was going to fix the frame. I said, Julio, if you did that, you would have destroyed that piece of work. So anyway, just a funny story. Now listen, I buy things that I enjoy. So let me show you this. Hang on a second. This is a robe from Spock from Star Trek. I paid $8,400. I don't buy things just because I like it. I buy it if I like it and it could give me a return. Well, this just sold 2 days ago at Julian's auction for $45,000. So I spent $84 and it sold for $45. I didn't sell it. There's only two in existence. I own one, and the other one got sold yesterday. So yes, I'm a Trekkie. I'm now investing in Broadway. So I'm a producer. I'm working with a producer on the Gypsy that's coming. So you want to also expand but you want to invest in things that are going to make you money. All right. Here's the last thing I want to share with you is use motivational devices to stay focused. So Power Agents, one of the best things to use is the dot board, where you track your dots. Now, I want to tell the Power Agents something very important about this dot board. Let me show you a picture of a Power Agents dot board. This is Mark in July. Okay, so this was his dot board. And what I want you to do, Power Agents, now you see what I don't like about what Mark did, so I'm going to clean it up, is he's using all different colors. And so I'm going to go back to my other screenshot. Power Agents, what I'm going to ask you to do is go into the classroom, print out the dot board. You can print it out, a big version at Kinko's, or print out a smaller one on your computer. But you see where those are all red? What I want you to do is put the dots up for 2024, this year, and put a dark color like blue or navy blue, like something that gets lost. Then with a bright color like red or yellow or green, I want you to start using that for 2025. So you're going to have 2024 board, and then 2025, you're going to use a different color. That way you can match January of 2024 with January 2025. The idea is you want to do better this year than last year, and that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to recommend that you do that. Now, a couple of more things that I have, and then I'm gonna do something special for the guests. Is one of the charts that we have for you, Power Agents, is a 30-day commitment where you track your activities. If you just talk to one buyer and one seller each day, imagine what will happen to your business. We also have the 30-day listing plan for you, which is giving you suggestions on what to do in the next 30 days. Look for that in the classroom. And there's bonus plans that we created for you, Power Agents. We created a business plan on how to generate business in the next 30 days. We generated a business plan for blogging. just on video blogging, how to do the software, how to set that up. 100 video blogging ideas that we gave you. Okay. So there's 100 of those. And then the equipment to buy. So that's the video blogging. We created a social media business plan, Power Agents. So this is just the business plan for social media and all the ideas and topics. We also created for you a direct mail business plan. Power Agents that have been with us for a while, you know my team, we overachieve for you. I mean, what we give for you for the $67 a month is just, then one more, a self-promotion, a marketing business plan. So Power Agents, just go to the class, go to the classroom, go to what's new. Wait, let me, there's so many pages here. Hang on, let me finish. All right, this is all the new plans that we also created for you by today. The team was working on it last night. We got to get this done for the team. So we got that for you guys. All right. Now, here's the last thing for the guests, and then we're going to go to questions. If you have a question, move over to the Q&A and start writing your questions. We're going to do a question and answer right now. So one of the things that this company came up with, a lot of agents, and they just had the convention. They said they're going to see the membership go down in 2025. You want to know why? Because they're not trained. Anybody that's leaving real estate, they're not going to be a Power Agent. I'll tell you that, because Power Agents are kicking tush. So if you're a guest, I'm going to invite you. Listen, guest, I'm going to take 2 minutes, I think, to explain what the program is real quick. And I invite you to become a Power Agent for the $10 for 30 days. And then after that, there's a monthly charge. I'll show you what that is in a second. But do it if you think I'm going to help you. If this helped you at all, and you want to continue having me be your coach, I would love to do that. So let me share with you. Power Agents, please.
All righty. Right on time. That was really very uplifting, very exciting. I have in your frequently used document folder, this is a Darryl Davis folder. Almost, except for the stuff he did last night that he said he's added. Everything's in there already. It's all there. There's dialogues. There's all the marketing material, all the books that you saw that you can give out, a consumer guide, a buyer guide, a seller guide, the thing for children, the guide for, do you want to give it to somebody who's got kids and what to expect when they're moving and all that great stuff. It's all in there. It's been in there. Everybody has access to the frequently used docs, and I can bet that hardly anybody goes in there and looks and said, let me dabble around in here, rather than going, oh, there's the folder Joe talked about. I'm not going to use it, though. I don't need it yet. One of the agents said to me this morning, I said, do you have your Google Drive set up and your Google Calendar? Because somebody called me up and said, I need to meet you Friday at 3 o'clock. So right in front of the people that were here, I went right into my Google Calendar. I put in Friday, 3 o'clock. I set a reminder for Thursday night. I set a reminder for Friday morning. And now it's set it and forget it, literally. So if Thursday night, I'm going to get a text on my phone that says you got an appointment tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, I'm going to get a reminder, because a lot of times you're busy and like, oh my God. And so one person that was here, of all the people that were here before, said, yeah, but I don't have any business, so I really don't need any of that stuff. I said, so you're going to wait until you're swamped with lots of clients. From my voice to God's ears. You're going to wait till you have lots of clients. You're going to wait till you have lots going on. And then you think you're going to learn how to use this program. Why don't you learn to use it now while there's not a lot of stuff going on? And then as a new client comes in, that it makes it a lot easier to say, okay, now I got 2 clients, and I got 4 clients, and I got 10 clients. And again, from my voice to God's ears, I've got 25 people that I'm dealing with. And I already know how to use this thing. I already know how to make appointments. I already know how to schedule things, and I know how to put it in my CRM, a Pro Agent. And then I also know how to add it to my Google Drive, so all the documents are there, and I know where everything is. Instead of the last minute, Joe, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know how to do anything. Vicky, can you help me? Derek, can you help me? Mariana, can you help me? Somebody help me. Jenny, I need help. Somebody help me. I don't know. Instead of just learning it as you go. It's a lot easier to learn it as you go. And this way you're not in a pinch, right? It's very easy. You know, I learned that a long time ago. I'm going to go get more religious on you and everything, but you guys have heard of a tithe, right? It's 10% of your income you're supposed to give back to God. So there's people that go, yeah, when I make lots of money, then I'll tithe. Well, if you can't give 10 cents from $1, what makes you think that if you hit the lotto and won $1 million, that you're going to peel off 100 grand and donate 100 grand? It's not going to happen. It's a training that you have to do throughout your life, that every time you get some money, you got a $20 bill, $2 doesn't belong to me. I got to get rid of it and give it to somebody. If you don't train yourself, it's never going to happen. If you don't train yourself when you only have 1 or 2 people that you're dealing with, or you're just now starting to talk to people, if you don't train yourself to use the tools and apps that we have, if you don't learn that now, when there's not a lot going on, when you have lots going on, you're not going to be able to pick it up. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to be very, very difficult if you do try, because you've got lots going on. And they're like, I don't have time to learn a new app. I got all these clients over here. I got all these listings over there. I don't have any time to learn how to do anything. I don't have time to do paperwork. I don't know how to do anything. And that could end up happening to you. And you don't want that to happen. So do some of the stuff. Go into the folder that I sent everybody. I shared it with, there's not a single person that I didn't share it with. Go look at the frequently used document folder. Go in there, look at what the buyer docs look like. Look at what the seller docs look like. Look at what the landlord tenant docs look like. There's commercial documents in there. There's a Darryl Davis folder. There's another folder for letters. All the stuff that he said, it's all in there already. But we have other letters as well. Hey, I'm a brand new agent. What do I do now? Well, there's a letter folder. Go grab the one, that announcement that you're a new agent, and send that in an email, a text, write it out any way you want, but get it to everybody that you know, and then follow up with a phone call. Did I make myself understood? That, and again, I can't force you to do anything. I can't say report cards, everybody. Let me see what you did this week. I can't do that. Legally, I'm not allowed to. And number 2, there's nobody here that's a minor. Everybody's an adult. I can't make you make your business grow. You got to make your business grow. I will help you along the way, but I'm not doing your climbing. I've already climbed. I've done all the climbing. I could show you how to climb, but I'm not doing it. Somebody that asked me here said, hey, when I'm ready to do my kitchen, can you do my kitchen for me? No, I'm not doing your kitchen, but if you want, I'll show you how to hang cabinets. I'll teach you. I'll be happy to do that, but I'm not lifting anything anymore. I'm done, right? It's not my job anymore. It's not my job to take you by the hand, and it is my job to take you by the hand when you're starting, to help you out. But once you're done with the initial part, this is on you. So I'm here for that tonight. We're going to do a little bit of pro agent. Jenny has kindly said she will come in tonight at 5 p.m. for anybody that's interested. 5 p.m. If you're not comfortable with pro agent, come in tonight at 5 o'clock, and Jenny's going to show you. We're going to first get everybody initialized, so we're all in the same spot, and then Jenny's going to show you how she keeps magnificent contact with her clients, how she reaches out to them, and then how she writes her notes and how she sends out. And then we're going to also send out, everybody from here tonight is going to send out something, already set it and forget it, for Thanksgiving. Put it in, pick a picture, set it up, done. Set it and forget it. Because the tools are no good if you don't use them. Okay?
And we pay for this pro agent, right?
You do.
So that's another reason I'm like, why am I gonna have something that I'm not gonna use and I'm paying for it?
It's not one of those things that you could say, I don't want to use it, because it's just, it comes with your monthly fee. If somebody said, I don't need pro agent, take it off, it's not like you're getting money off of your dues. So it's something that's included. You can use it or not. Again, that's up to you. There's no babies here.
Now, tap into your referrals from other agents. This is a missed opportunity people have.